Okay, so what we got here is one of my newest systems that I've done. And you can see in a quick overview, here's the giant tank that we got. And there's the tee off for drain valve. And then over here we have the repressurization pump for the house. Let me go back up. You can see the piping that involves here. And it gets a little confuffled here. But if you notice that actually the water, the product water, is actually going through that solenoid right here, if it's open, back through our tank filter right here. Okay, that is the overview. Now I'll go piece by piece, and I think you'll get an understanding of why we did the system this way. First of all, the water has not very much sediment, but it does have very high in TDS, total dissolved solids. That's what that's called. So here we go. We gotta start off here. What I did is I teed off on the main line, put a valve to block it, and ran the water down towards here through the first normally open solenoid valve. That guy right here. And so then it goes into this tank filter. Now, Clarion water systems, thank goodness for these guys. They're awesome. This is an Ultrafilter in a tank style. So what this thing does for me is that whatever sediment and iron that is in the water, it will capture, as well as any dead bacteria, because the water system prior to this is a co-op, and they have a chlorine injection system, and I handle that system as well. And so I know everything about the water up to this point as well. So anyways, this Ultrafilter filters it down physically all the way down to 0.02 nominal range in microns. That is pretty darn amazing. So every 250 gallons, the Clarion Water Systems has this thing backwash, and this box over here in the corner is the controller for that. And so once again, every 250 gallons, we go into a backwash. It actually flips the solenoids. Sorry for going back and forth like that. It flips these two solenoids. So we have this one that's normally open get closed. This one normally closed gets opened. And as you just saw previously, that is actually my RO water that I got produced. So I'm backwashing this Ultrafilter with RO water. So yeah, she's gonna stay clean, nice and long time. Anyways, that is the Ultrafilter. Clarion Water Systems, thank you. You guys are awesome. All right. So the outlet of this of the tank filter goes into a manual valve I have here, always shut off unless we want to bypass the RO system and just put in ultra-filtered water into the tank. Emergency situation only. Have the hose down to and up to another manual valve that is for the RO system. Solenoid for controlling the water coming in and out. And then a simple pre-filter, it's carbon, that take care of any residual chlorine and byproducts of chlorine that that may damage the RO filter. Alright, so we have that. This is one of these beautiful little quick disconnect filters from 3M. Those guys are also very cool. I'm glad that I was able to grab one of these. It makes it easy for the customers to switch out the filters, though the price of the filter is higher up there. But at least the customer designed this thing so a farmer can easily switch out the filter without having to curse and swear. So yeah, that's that there. Once again, we continue down to the piping to entry into the pump can that I have built custom. This is my baby right here. I've got a submersible pump inside this pump can right here. And it's a Grundfos, has a soft start on it, has its own overloads in it. So all in all, this thing is never going to die on me, thank goodness. And it's stainless steel parts all the way through. Comes out through the top into our RO filter right here, the main worker of the whole process. And splits the water, of course, into water, wastewater, and into product water. Product water gets put into this 125 gallon tank. We couldn't fit in a 250 because of, yeah, that's right, the cold air intake in the main trunk of the the furnace. So I make do with what I can do. And the customer says that she has not ever ran out of water, so we're glad for the 125 gallon. It's just a couple that lives here at the time. All right, I have 3 pressure gauges on here. An inlet right here, that's just for pressure coming into the carbon filter. This is pressure coming out of the carbon filter, so I just know when I need to change the carbon filter. It gets all nasty. This last one here, of course, is my pre-membrane pressure. I like to have this guy usually between 150 and 200 at the very most. Then we go up to our 3 flow meters. Now, I have a recycle flow meter. If I open this guy up, I'm just sending wastewater back through the pump again, and then back into the RO filter. It's kind of a saving of water, wastewater situation. Try to use it as much as we can. And then we send it out through this flow meter. This is our waste flow meter, and both these things have adjustable valves on them. With this in mind, the waste flow, of course, we want to make sure it's pretty aggressive if you have it like a 1 part waste to 1 part product, a 50-50. You may be saving water, but you're going to eat up, you're going to plug up the RO filter faster that way. So we usually do a 2-to-1 even. Manufacturers recommend all the way up to a 5-to-1. Frankly, I've seen them last quite a long time on a 2-to-1 ratio. So not really worth wasting that much water just to have it last even longer. The main filter, the RO filter, lasts longer. Anyways, the last one, of course, is our product flow. Now we're having a small amount of flow go through right now. This is what I've done to what I call a flush. Basically, wastewater is at a higher rate flowing along the outside of the RO filter to flush out anything that may have gotten caught into it. And this is after main production has finished. And there's a small amount of flow that's going into the tank. This is, of course, one of my farmer editions. This whole thing is controlled by 2 physical float switches. First one shuts off the pump. Second one shuts off the solenoid valve right here. That way, we can have a little bit of a flush of the system before and after the main production starts, because the solenoid will open up first before the pump starts, and the pump will stop before the solenoid shuts for before and after production. Okay, anyways, the last little bit, I've got a blank box. This is my electrical box. Inside there is just a pressure switch and the wiring to all the float switches and our solenoids. The pressure switch in here is only for just in case the pressure from the co-op is not high enough to maintain this RO without hurting the pump. That pressure switch will cut the power and, of course, shut the pump off. Last little part is my main switch, manual switch, to shut off the whole system electrically. I always like to have these things nice and high up and away from the water, just because it is a physical switch, and no matter how much waterproofing you have on there, water can and will get in if you have it really close to it. Anyways, so yeah, that is our way of shutting all the electricity off to the system. This is an ultrafilter and RO system combination to treat water with low levels of chlorine in it, high levels of TDS, and low to medium levels of sediment and iron in it. That is it.